In this video, I'd like to talk about the phenomenon of what's known as the lolcow. The lolcow is called a lolcow, as I understand it, because he is someone who embarrasses himself, who is consistently cringe online, and or self-important, or has no idea that everybody thinks he's a clown, or whatever. Just consistently makes an idiot of himself online, and therefore he makes people LOL, and his antics are milked for the amusement of others, hence lol cow. And I am fascinated by this this entire phenomenon for a few different reasons. I'm aware that it's a unique sort of temptation in our own day, in the day of the internet, in the day of social media, in the day of posting videos online, in the day of being able to have the world potentially at your fingertips, have a large audience potentially at your fingertips, to have that kind of attention potentially right there. And it's something that just didn't exist in prior years. It didn't exist when I was a youngster. As I've said before, if you wanted to be creative or just goof off or have fun doing whatever by yourself or with your friends, you had your tape recorder, and you would record yourself and your friends, doing little skits, or whatever, improvising, being goofy, and the tape, it would exist afterwards, just for you and maybe a couple of other people to listen to. So if you were being weird and wild and crazy and cringe, even though that was before people called things cringe. Cringe still existed, but people didn't. It just the word cringe, the idea of categorizing something at that particular thing as cringe didn't exist yet. Then it was still mostly a private thing. In order to embarrass yourself in front of a larger audience of people, took a more extraordinary circumstance. You would have to be at school, at an assembly, and do something embarrassing. You get up and give a speech and embarrass yourself that way, or get on the intercom, or just whatever, do something in front of the class, and then the word would get around that you had embarrassed yourself in this way, and people would laugh at you, and you would kind of achieve what for the time was a lolcow status, but it was still on a very local scale. It was harder to become a lolcow who's known so ubiquitously as the lolcows are known today. I mean, it may not be ubiquitous. That's an exaggeration, because there's still people. I mean, there are people that I suddenly hear about that I didn't know about before, but they're the point is that they build up an audience, and that audience is not circumscribed by geographical location. that audience is, whoever uh, gets on the internet, whoever whoever is interested in this particular section of the internet, or these particular style of videos, or something like that. So someone like Chris Chan, I guess, is whom I never watched. I was just aware of, as exclusively through osmosis. I never saw him, but he supposedly posted every single day for years and years on end, and just just went deeper and deeper into cringe territory, as I understand it, until he wound up doing some things that were particularly disgusting and abominable, it would seem. Most lolcows aren't that extreme. They're just people who either take themselves too seriously, or who think they're funny when they aren't, or who think they have something interesting to say when they don't, or maybe they just have a tendency to overshare. Oversharing is a real temptation on the internet, because when you get online, you part of you feels like, here I go. I have a microphone. I have, whether it's a real microphone or not, whether you're saying, whether you're delivering your message in a video, or audio format, or whether you're delivering it in a text format. Either way, you have an audience there, potentially. You have a microphone in front of you, and and there's a part of I can't universalize this. I can't say this is true for everybody, because I don't know whether it is true. But I can say that for some of us, myself included, there is a desire to at times be exhibitionistic. There's a desire to want to share things, and it's there are things that you share, and they're just interesting little stories, and there are things that you share that are maybe quite a bit more personal, and potentially more well, you make yourself vulnerable when you share certain things about yourself, or share certain things in certain ways about yourself. And there's a real appeal. There's a push-pull thing with vulnerability. I find, anyway. I think there are a lot of people who just want to be badasses all the time, who just want to get on and talk about how great they are, and how they're above it all, but the thing is, they can become lolcows too, because they're so obviously deceiving themselves, and so people hear them and laugh at them, because it is funny, because their self-deception is amusing. It's pitiful, it's sad, but it's also amusing, or it can be amusing. But there are also people who just want to share things, and I'm aware, whenever I record a video, or even though I don't have a huge audience, or whenever I write anything, um, in prior years for for websites, and now for Substack, which I guess is also a website, or I don't know, what do you call it? Is it called something else besides a website? Um, it has a web address, so I guess it would be a website. But but I'm aware of the temptation to want to share things, to want to make yourself vulnerable, and I think that a part of just to sound potentially pretentious for a moment, a part of what an artist is supposed to do is be vulnerable. I don't think you have any real value. I don't think your art, whatever it is, has any real value for others unless you're willing to go out on a limb and to chance, uh, you know, to take the chance that making yourself vulnerable um, involves. But the problem is that if you do that, if you make a habit out of that, or if you, as they say these days, if you don't have a filter, right? That's a term that's used a lot these days. Not about that you don't have a filter, um, and you just say what's on your mind no matter what, and don't have any awareness or care about how you're coming across, and so forth. If it's not if it's not curated in some way, then then you're just being completely raw and unfiltered, then that's that may be great, and it may it may really reach a lot of people, and it may boost your overall uh, status, if you will, or it may, there are people who rant. There are rants. There are online rants that are legendary, and that you hear it and you say, "Yeah, right on." And there are also online rants where it's like, "Whoa, take it easy, man." There are the kind of rants, the sort of like the hot mic kind of moments, like the Bill O'Reilly, "We'll do it live." That's the first example I can think of. Although there are tons of other examples that are similar, of just somebody just losing it, and just going off, um, or Richard Spencer saying, "You don't do that to fucking me. I enslave you. My ancestors enslaved yours," or whatever it was that he said, in Charlottesville, something along those lines. And so, uh, what am I trying to say here? I'm really interested in the lolcow phenomenon, and the because I don't I know there's the temptation to become, or to do things that potentially make yourself one. I think if you're self-conscious and self-aware, then you generally uh, don't stray into that territory. Although self-consciousness can also be um, a curse if you're overly aware of trying to come across a certain way, and you're trying to be a tough guy, when you clearly aren't. I guess I sort of covered that already, but this is like the opposite of being vulnerable. This is like trying to be a badass, trying to be um, affecting that you have more confidence or more clout than you really do. Um, that also can make you into a lolcow, especially if it's something that you just do habitually. Um, if you're a comedian and you're not at all funny and you seem to have no idea what comedy is, and you the jokes that you make uh, just often don't make any sense, or the punchline just puts a like the thought bubble with a question mark that you see in comic books, where you see somebody looking confused and there's a thought bubble, and the thought bubble has a question mark on it in it. Um, if that's but if you keep telling jokes like that and you have no clue uh, that people see you as totally unfunny, and then that also makes you into a lolcow. And so, but that makes you a weird. That still gives you attention, and for some people, having attention, even if the attention that you're getting is negative attention, or if you're getting attention for being an idiot or a fool or clueless, you know, there's still people who feed on that attention, who really want that attention, who covet it, and once they get it, they want more of it. So it seems to me there's something about the whole just the entire format, the whole existence of the internet, the whole existence of blogs, of social media, of video posting sites. It seems like it just tends to facilitate, uh, and because there's this thing, because they've taken this thing and called it cringe, and now people go on like people want to see cringe, that they go, there are cringe compilations that you can go and watch people just uh, make idiots of themselves, or just be completely unaware of how they're coming across, not read the room, and say something completely inappropriate, or whatever. All those kinds of things, are pitfalls of our online age, that really it was much harder to be that way in previous times. And I think if one were to not get online, if one were to spend one's life offline, there really wouldn't be. It would be a lot. It would be a lot harder to be a lolcow, uh, because you make an idiot of if you weren't online, so you make an idiot of yourself in front of a few people, and they remember you. But then you're off somewhere else with a bunch of other people, and they don't know who you are. And you succeed at being charming and friendly, and they like you, and you uh, you know make a good impression on them. Well, then you're not so much of a lolcow. The only way of it's like the ubiquity of being online that enhances the lolcow potentiality. Now I can say that for myself, even though I have like I said, I have an exhibitionistic streak to me. I'm also someone who tends to be really private and who likes to play things close to the vest. So, which is a paradox, I know, to say that I'm an exhibitionist, but that I also play close to the vest. That sounds like like an impossible combination. But it's sort of a deal of wanting, if I'm going to be exhibitionistic, I'm wanting to do it on my own terms. And you don't really, the thing is, you can't really control the terms under which other people see you. You can't really manage that. You can't really curate that. But I can only, interestingly, I can only remember one video that I recorded and left up for a day, and then I thought, I shouldn't have recorded that. I shouldn't have told people that. I don't want people to know that, and I took it down. Only one time there's only one time that I remember that happening. But I know that for some people, just looking the way I do, being as old as I am, you know, whatever. I know that there are, people who I have been ridiculed before. It has happened. And so I guess I've had my time as a lolcow, and maybe that's the thing. You're also not totally aware of whether people are laughing at you or not. And part of being online facilitates this paranoia where you're not really sure how you're coming across, what people are thinking of you. If they're like it, it activates this part of you that wants that wants to be that wants to be recognized, that wants validation. So if you get a heart, or if you get a thumbs up, or if you say, wow, that video got 57 likes, I am really a stud, It's just it enhances all of those things. It takes something that's already there within us, and it puts certain things at our fingertips, and it makes it so that it's both glory and humiliation are seemingly, just like it says it doesn't say it in this mirror. I guess it's not true about this mirror, but like it used to say, objects are closer than they appear. It's the same kind of thing. Internet stardom is not as close as it appears. Notoriety, fame, is both closer and farther away than it appears. Anyway, that's my commentary on the lolcow phenomenon.